It was a typical Tuesday morning when my phone rang. I was still half asleep, barely able to form coherent thoughts as I reached for my phone. The screen lit up with a name I hadn't seen in years, my mother. I squinted at the screen, confusion swirling in my mind. I hadn't heard her voice in over a decade. She had passed away when I was just a teenager, taken too soon by a sudden illness. This had to be a mistake, a cruel prank. I hesitated, my finger hovering over the green answer button. My heart raced. I finally pressed it, and her voice flooded through the speaker. "Hello? Can you hear me?" It sounded just like her, warm and comforting, like nothing had ever changed. "Mom?" I whispered, disbelief coursing through me. "Yes, sweetheart. It's me." The tone in her voice was unmistakable, a soothing melody that wrapped around my heart. But it was wrong, so very wrong. I felt a chill creep up my spine. "I miss you. I've been watching over you." I forced myself to shake off the feeling of dread clawing at my insides. This must be a trick of some sort, an elaborate prank, or maybe a glitch in the Matrix. I chuckled nervously, this isn't funny. "Who is this?" But there was no answer. Only silence on the other end. I hung up, trying to convince myself it was all just a bad joke, a figment of my imagination. Yet, the feeling of dread lingered, settling heavily in my stomach. The rest of the day felt like a blur. I tried to focus on my work, but the voice replayed in my head, haunting me like a ghost in the shadows. Was I losing my mind? How could I even consider that this could be real? A few days later, the phone rang again. This time, I didn't even have to check the screen. The familiar name was already displayed, and my heart sank. I hesitated, my hand trembling. But this time, curiosity got the better of me. I answered, my voice trembling. "Hello? Hi, darling. It's me again." I felt a mix of emotions wash over me, relief and fear intertwined. "Mom? How is this happening?" "I'm here, sweetheart." "I'm always here," she said softly. "I've been waiting to talk to you. There's something I need you to do for me." The hairs on the back of my neck stood on end. "What do you mean?" "You're gone. You can't ask me for anything." There was a long pause before she replied, "Please, just listen." "It's important." Against my better judgment, I stayed on the line. "What do you want?" "Do you remember my old necklace? The one with the blue stone?" I nodded, my heart pounding in my chest. Of course, I remembered it. It had been her favorite piece of jewelry, and I had kept it safe since she passed away. "Yes, I still have it." "Good. I need you to wear it. It will help me. Please." "Why?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "It's part of the connection between us," she said, her tone turning urgent. "You have to trust me." A lump formed in my throat. I wanted to hang up, but something in her voice held me captive. I found myself saying, "Okay. I'll wear it. Thank you, darling. You have no idea how much this means to me." After that call, I felt a mix of relief and unease. I put the necklace on, the cool metal resting against my skin. For the first time in years, I felt a sense of comfort, as if she were right there with me. But that comfort quickly faded, replaced by an unsettling feeling that something was off. The calls kept coming. They became a regular occurrence, each one more disturbing than the last. She would ask me to do small things at first, simple favors that felt harmless enough. "Could you light a candle for me?" she would say. Or, "Can you water the plants I used to take care of?" Each time I obeyed, the sense of dread grew heavier, like a storm cloud looming over me. I would hear her voice, soothing yet unsettling, wrapping around me like a sinister embrace. Then, one evening, I received a call that would change everything. "I need you to do something for me, sweetheart," she said, her voice low and almost urgent. What is it? I asked, anxiety prickling at my skin. I need you to go to the old house. My heart raced at the mention of the house where we used to live, the very place where she had fallen ill. I don't want to go there. It's been years, and you're not there anymore. Please, she insisted. You have to go. There's something waiting for you. What do you mean? I can't explain it over the phone. Just trust me. You have to go tonight. Fear gnawed at my insides. I felt trapped, caught between the desire to obey and the instinct to run. But as I sat there, I could hear her voice, pleading and desperate. Okay, I finally agreed. Thank you, my love. You'll understand soon. The drive to the old house felt like a blur, each passing streetlight illuminating my mounting dread. I parked outside, staring at the darkened windows, memories flooding back, laughter, warmth, and the love that once filled those walls. As I stepped inside, the air felt thick with memories, but it was eerily quiet. The place was just as I remembered, dusty, filled with shadows that seemed to breathe. I made my way to the living room, the scent of old wood and forgotten moments hanging heavy in the air. Mom? I called out, my voice echoing. Silence answered me, and my heart pounded in my chest. Then, my phone rang again. It was her. Are you there? She asked, her voice low and echoing. Yes, I replied, my voice trembling. Go to the basement, she instructed. Why? Just do it. I hesitated, staring at the door that led to the basement, dread clawing at my insides. I don't want to. Please, you have to. It's important. Swallowing hard, I made my way to the basement door. The air grew colder as I descended the stairs, the wooden steps creaking beneath me. When I reached the bottom, the darkness enveloped me. I fumbled for the light switch, flicking it on to reveal a dim, cluttered space filled with boxes and old furniture. Now, look for the box in the corner, she instructed. Mom, I don't. Just do it, she snapped, her voice suddenly sharp and commanding. I recoiled, feeling a chill run down my spine. It wasn't the voice I remembered, it felt darker, more insistent. Slowly, I approached the corner and began rummaging through the boxes. Dust flew into the air as I opened the first one, revealing old clothes and forgotten toys. But there was nothing else. Keep looking, she urged. My hands trembled as I opened another box, my heart racing. What am I looking for? You'll know when you find it. I felt a sense of dread creeping in, the air thickening around me. Finally, I opened a box that felt heavier than the rest. Inside lay an old, tattered journal. My breath caught in my throat. I recognized it, it was her journal, the one she kept hidden. I hadn't seen it since she passed. Open it, she commanded. Why? I whispered, feeling a mix of fear and sorrow. Just read it. With trembling hands, I opened the journal, flipping through the yellowed pages until I found a passage in her handwriting. It was a letter addressed to me, written just days before she passed. My dear, I wish I could be there for you. There are things I've hidden, things you must know. I'm scared, but I want to protect you. Please, if you find this, be careful. My heart raced. What does this mean? But there was no response. Instead, I felt the air grow colder, the shadows around me deepening. Mom? I called, my voice quivering. Are you still there? Suddenly, I heard a noise from behind me, soft whispers, barely audible. My heart pounded in my chest as I turned, scanning the darkness for a source. The whispers grew louder, echoing around me. Help us, they chanted, a chorus of voices. Help us. Panic surged through me as I stumbled back, clutching the journal. What is happening? I shouted, but the voices only grew stronger, more insistent. Help us. In a burst of terror, I turned and ran back up the stairs, feeling the weight of the darkness pressing in on me. I burst through the door, slamming it shut behind me. I stood there, breathless, my heart racing, trying to understand what had just happened. "Why did you make me go down there?" I demanded, my voice shaking. "Because you needed to know the truth," she replied, her voice calmer now. "What truth?" I asked, desperate for answers. "That I didn't just die of illness. There are forces at work that you don't understand." "What are you talking about?" I felt like I was losing my grip on reality. "The necklace, the journal, it's all connected. You need to help them." "Who?" "Those who are trapped. They're lost, just like I was." The implications crashed over me like a tidal wave, and the weight of her words settled heavily in my stomach. "What do you want me to do?" "I need you to free them," she said, her tone turning grave. "It's the only way for me to rest." I shook my head, fear flooding my senses. "I can't do that. I don't know how." "Find the mirror," she said urgently. "It will guide you." I took a step back, my heart racing. "What mirror?" "The one in the attic. You'll know when you see it." Without another word, the call ended, leaving me in a state of shock. I stumbled back, trying to make sense of everything. The air around me felt charged, heavy with unseen energy. I had to find the mirror, whatever that meant. The attic had always been a place of mystery, filled with forgotten items and cobwebs. As I climbed the creaky stairs, doubt gnawed at me. What if I was getting in over my head? What if this was a mistake? But I knew I had to try. I opened the attic door, a rush of stale air hitting me like a wall. The darkness loomed around me, and I flicked on the light switch. Dust danced in the beams of light, illuminating boxes piled high and furniture draped in white sheets. "Where are you?" I muttered to myself, scanning the room for any sign of the mirror. I approached the far corner, my heart pounding. And there it was, a tall, ornate mirror covered in dust, the silver frame glimmering in the light. I felt an unexplainable pull toward it, as if it was calling to me. "Okay, let's see what you have to show me," I whispered, wiping the dust away. As I peered into the mirror, I was met with my reflection, but it felt different. The glass shimmered, distorting the image of my face. I reached out, touching the cool surface, and suddenly the reflection shifted. Instead of my familiar features, I saw the faces of lost souls, their eyes wide with fear and desperation. They reached out, mouths moving in silent pleas for help. "What do you want from me?" I gasped, stumbling back. "Free us," they whispered, the voices merging into a haunting chorus. I felt the weight of their sorrow pressing against my chest, and panic surged through me. I turned to leave, but the mirror glowed brighter, pulling me back in. I had to face this. "Mom! What do I do?" I screamed, feeling the pressure of the mirror's power surging around me. "Use the necklace," she urged, her voice echoing from the depths of my memory. I fumbled for the necklace around my neck, gripping the blue stone tightly in my hand. "What do you mean?" "Channel your love. Channel your strength." I closed my eyes, taking a deep breath. I thought of my mother, the warmth of her embrace, the love she had given me. I focused on that feeling, letting it wash over me. As I opened my eyes, the mirror pulsed with light, and the faces of the lost souls grew clearer. "Free us," they cried, reaching toward me. In that moment, I understood what I had to do. I raised the necklace, feeling a surge of energy flow through me. "I release you," I shouted, pouring every ounce of love and strength into those words. The mirror shook violently, the glass rippling like water. The trapped souls began to break free, their faces transforming from despair to relief. "Thank you," they whispered as they floated into the light. One by one, they disappeared, leaving behind a sense of peace that enveloped the room. Suddenly, I felt a rush of warmth, and my mother's voice came through clear and strong. "You did it, sweetheart. You freed them." The mirror calmed, the frantic energy subsiding. I felt a weight lift from my shoulders, the heaviness in the air replaced by a gentle lightness. "Mom?" I whispered, tears streaming down my face. Are you okay? I'm finally at peace, she said softly. Thank you for helping me. The mirror shimmered, reflecting my face once more, but this time it felt different, lighter, free from the shadows that had haunted it. Goodbye, my love. I will always be with you. With that, the mirror began to fade, the light enveloping it until it disappeared completely. I stood there, breathless, my heart swelling with a sense of accomplishment. I had faced my fears, confronted the darkness, and in doing so, I had freed not only the lost souls but my mother as well. Though the calls had been unsettling, they had led me to this moment of closure. I had learned that love transcends even the boundaries of life and death, and that sometimes, the scariest journeys lead to the most profound revelations.